If Prometheus were still an adventurer, he'd be delighted to be in a place like this, where magic worked strangely and some unusual fortress was buried deep into the ground, the mysteries behind it all. But knowing what he knows, and knowing the amount of people who rely on him getting through this, the added pressure of being a leader, a lot of his wonder was gone. But there was still that thought in the back, that perhaps when he was done, after he cleared out whatever problems were here, someone could go and research it on his behalf. On his behalf. Since when did he stop doing his own work, finding the mysteries himself? He had changed. Hello, welcome back to Pathfinder Kingmaker with me, McGammar. So, this time we're going to look at what's behind this wall. And it's a trap. I loaded the save because that trap was right there and got me. However, these traps are worth 720 experience, so I kind of want that.
Interesting.
So I'm okay with admitting that I loaded it. If you're able to tell whether I was doing with all the, if ever you're wondering if I did something like that, once again, the combat log is here.
It is finished.
The odd-shaped stones are petrified rats, shattering into pieces or someone or something. Okay.
No mistakes.
Alright, that tells me that there might be a Medusa in that room. Or something else that does, flesh the stone level of magic. So, let's just throw rocks in there and see what happens. How about here? And while that's revving up...
Any fun to be had?
Hey, Guard, do you have a ranged weapon? No? Let's fix that. We have a javelin. Turns out that's perfect for you. It's one-handed, so you can still do your magic with your free hand. It's great. As long as I'm looking at you, you're not wearing a ring. Fix that. Now, everybody has a ranged weapon equipped right now.
Enemy approaching.
And it's mimics. I don't think of mimics when I think of enemies that turn other enemies to stone, but here we are. Let's not move too much further. Dude, and shoot.
This should do it. Tear them apart.
Okay, that one's gone. I can't quite see any of the others. From that angle, I could get a shot. Alright, let's move around over here. You might be able to see the other one if you go over here. I know there was another one deeper in the room. And it's down. I don't want the cat to die to rocks, so I'm not going to have the cat go.
A calculated riddle.
I will take a fresh angle. Okay, there we go. Amiri, you need a fresh angle. We can't see it. Don't want to die to rocks. Nope, can't see it. It's in there somewhere. We know it's in there somewhere, but we don't have the line of sight. Alright, well, start revving up fresh rocks. It's still in there somewhere. We don't know where. Nope. I'm not going into the rocks. You can't make me. Okay, now we just put these down right here. And it's gone.
What's taking so long?
The fact that we have to wait for rocks. So let's put new old rocks behind us. We're not going to be going back that way anymore from the looks of it. And with those rocks gone, these rocks are now gone. I stepped on something. I heard something snap. I think we're fine. I think we're fine. Okay. Well, everything worked out.
All according to plan.
Alright. Now that we went the optional way, let's go the other way. Actually, I just mentioned that I wasn't going to be going that way anytime soon.
Command me.
I see that there is a corner of the map that I haven't gone. So, let's throw rocks over here. Into this corner. And let's go that way. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Please, do tell.
I think I accidentally took 1 point of burn from that. It's fine. We can take 1 point of burn. Okay, so magic's only weird when I'm in this first world area with all the weird plants. So maybe I can be a little bit more aggressive with my magic.
I did it. I did.
But not here. Oh boy! Primal Shambling Mound. Okay, alright.
I am ready.
We can work with this. Provided there aren't bajillions of traps nearby, I don't think I'm going to use Earth on this one. So let's give you your melee weapons. And let's give you...
One shouldn't brag about a
your
big
melee
sword
weapon.
if they can't carry one.
Yeah. Alright, so 3 people with melee. Ragongar can still throw.
I'm glad you
Alright,
called.
fully charge up. Big rocks. Big rocks. And it looks like Good Hope has worn off. We could do one fight without Good Hope. We were able to trip it. Into position.
This will hurt.
We have room to pounce. Plenty of damage.
What's that?
Ooh, 2 traps. Okay, alright, we can work with that later. Not right now. Okay, that off, that on. Ah, it was the surprise round, right. Okay, Harem. Just use your crossbow.
I'll cut you.
Okay, so Knock Knock is here.
Used to lighting enemies on fire for
That's a lot of damage. It's still alive.
Let's try this way.
Okay, it's very much down, but it's not down, which tells me it has regeneration. Let's coup de grace. That does the trick. Alright, Knock Knock, go.
did it without breaking it. I did it.
In due time.
Okay.
I did.
Plants have grown up through the stone as if the floor was nothing more than rotten wood. And... a dagger. Edict. Whenever this +4 mithril speed dagger lands a hit, it imposes a -3 penalty to target's will score for a minute. Amazing! Actually, truly, genuinely amazing! This is not a great weapon for Knock Knock in terms of damage. But it's a great weapon for Knock Knock in terms of support. And most of his damage comes from his sneak attacks anyway. So, that might be worth putting as an offhand on Knock Knock. Not a main hand. You don't... like, a speed weapon on a main hand, that's kind of worthless. Nevertheless, that was a good corner of going. And it didn't trail up over into this other part of the map. So, optional treasure is optional. Yeah, it looks like a lot of our buffs are falling off. Subsea invisibility, that'll last hours. And now that we're back out of that nonsense, we can rebuff here. So, let's see, you get yourself with that.
Time's not waiting.
You get everybody with yet another Good Hope. It's my favorite. It lasts for just long enough to be useful. Another good old Bless. We might not need the shield, but you never know. Stone Golem. They'll probably fight us as soon as we loot something in the room. Torag Pendant. An old bookcase crammed with dusty tomes. Many of the books have been ruined by mildew and water. Another book. Fairy Tales of Avestan. Okay, I'm not going to read this. Oh. Never mind, this is about Robogug. And how Serenai trapped Robogug, but also forbade its death. Weird. Huh. Okay. How about this?
I don't like surprises.
Crude drawings cover the side of the bookcase. Someone has begun carving out the word, beginning of the word, but never finished. So all you can read now is R. R. Must have been a pirate. And over here in the corner we have message for a guard captain. They were really worried about a particular prisoner here. But something didn't happen. Something didn't go right. More mundane loot. Robe of the True Master. +5 deflection to AC, so it doesn't stack with the ring. Spell resistance 18, not bad. +4 resistance bonus to all saves, so it doesn't stack with the cape. And +2 bonus to spell penetration. Ah, spell penetration. That is good. That is real good. If you're having a problem with enemies who have spell resistance, but you really want to cast Scorching Ray on them, this is how you do it. And another book. Secret of the Overlords, the Essence of the World Order. Okay. It says a lot, but it doesn't really say a lot.
Follow my lead.
Alright, we still have 2 golems. Okay, we still have a trap. Let's go, knock knock.
Knock, knock, nervous when
How bad are we
watched.
doing? Okay, so we need a 34. We rolled a 4. There is a theoretical possibility of failure if we roll a 1.
I did it.
But we didn't roll a 1. Okay.
What's that thing?
Okay, and given its position relative to the, golems... Alright, we'll fight the golems
In
from over
due
here.
time.
Listening as hard as I can.
Okay, so... I think the best way for me to start this fight
Waiting.
I yearn for entertainment.
is with everybody here like this.
Ready for anything.
I thought you'd never ask.
I am prepared.
Okay. Let's pick a fight with a golem.
Skull.
Drop a quick save first, because you never know. Things might go really badly.
Be easier if
And
you
go.
don't fight back. Ugh.
Okay, you only got 1 attack. That's pretty unfortunate. We do indeed fight both of them.
They go down!
Okay, you get another attack now.
Not that bad.
Okay, acceptable. We achieved the goal of defeating the enemy before it got a turn. Throw a rock.
Taste my fury.
Down it goes. That'll save us from having to do anything with it.
Your life ebbs low.
And we're too far away to throw. Get as close as you can, then. Throw next turn. Can we? Yeah. Wonderful. A little bit closer.
This should do it.
Yeah, Prometheus doesn't get through that. Tons of movement. Keep up with the cat. Not as much movement, but you can get in position to be able to stab. It's still on the ground, so this won't knock it down again, but that's down. Sure. In we go. Okay, spooky green room. Alright, that's a thing in the middle. Let's save before we interact with that. I know I just saved before the fight, but you know how these skill checks can be. Alright, behind the mysterious room that opened with a loud and creeping groan, there was a dark, I'm guessing room, far less spacious than the main hall. Along the walls there stood densely packed bookshelves, filled with musty tomes, and frail scrolls, and centuries upon centuries of dust. The silence within the secret room was thick, almost ominous. No, in fact, it was really ominous. Now, did our heroes dare to disturb the peace of the dusty archive? You know what, let's do all 3 of these. I don't see any reason not to. Okay, so we can't fail at this. The dusty table by the far wall didn't escape their notice. Whoever used to work on this table, they weren't neat. The wooden desk was buried under piles of papers, scrolls, and notes. Some of them crumbled in the dust at a touch. Others were in better condition, but proved to be rather boring and useless. However, under a pile of papers we found something curious. A thick notebook filled with notes of small handwriting and strange diagrams. The illustrations depicted an iron golem. A huge and powerful war machine created to protect the fortress. Looks like these notes weren't made by the creators of the mechanism. Endless words, 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 more words. Someone obviously had too much time and little idea how else to spend it. We paged through the notebook, but it was impossible to decipher the reader's handwriting and language. However, we did notice a phrase in red ink. Target. Perhaps there was some special meaning of these words? After we shut the notebook, we sorted through the other papers one more time, and we stepped back from the table. Let's see. We can't fail the mobility check. It was impossible to ignore the piles of paper, scrolls, and files on top of the bookcase. It seems the top shelf of the bookcase was used as a storage. The piles of paper seemed to be heaped there without any thought. Carefully holding huge clumps of paper and helping each other to set them down, we managed to clear the contents of the shelf and explore it more carefully. Among the rotting books, we found several spell scrolls in good condition. I wonder who could hide magic scrolls in this gloomy fortress. Alas, some mysteries defy being solved. After we were done with the makeshift storage, we went back to exploring the secret room. Lead blades, protection from chaos, and communal stone skin. Not bad. Now we can fail the fortitude save. We hurried to explore the bookshelves. But we succeeded anyway. Beautiful. Good roll, good roll. We started sorting through the old books, trying to find something of use. But the attempts to disturb history without incident failed. As soon as we removed the first tome off the shelf, an avalanche of dust came down upon us. Ignoring the dust, we continued to explore the shelves. True heroes cannot be stopped by a little dirt and grime, or even residue 5 times older than us. The search ended up with unexpected success. Among the rotting books and old scrolls, we found a heavy tome in good condition. It described the art of engineering, emblazoned with marks of ones who constructed this fortress. It was a true guide on dwarven fortifications, an excellent source of knowledge for our own projects. After sorting through the rest of the books, we made sure that we didn't miss anything of value, so we left the bookcase alone. We only get 90 experience for that. Weird, like that was the hardest check there. Saves usually are relative to skill checks, but that was still... I feel like that should have been worth a little bit more. Ah well. Having decided not to bother a ghost of the past anymore, we left the ancient tomes alone and returned to the library. Neat!
That is not far.
Okay. Loads of experience, loads of stuff. I save again because I don't want to have to make that fortitude save again. And we go. Alright, door on the left. I think everybody's currently equipped with melee weapons. You know what? Let's do this.
Command me.
I don't trust this. I don't trust this as far as I can throw it. So let's put some rocks here. Put some rocks here. And have everybody get their ranged weapons back on.
Who's there? Lamash too.
Like so.
I'm listening.
And like so. Okay, there's something in the room, but because they can't see us, that did not aggress them. So they're just gonna stand on the rocks and die.
Hoping not fight back.
There they are.
That's kind of fight.
That time they got the jump on us. They came at us. And that's fine. Alright, so can I get a rock in the back? I can. Yeah. Good hit. That was the one in melee. I still got to fear it because something died in the rocks.
A calculated risk.
Up you go. Alright, that one actually made the melee. Down you go. Guess what? Nothing's in melee anymore.
Which knife to use?
Yeah, Knock Knock needs the sneak attack damage to be effective. Speed Javelin. Can't see anything. Still can't see anything. Alright, let's charge up. Get ready to throw yet more rocks. Rocks for next turn. Ah, there it is. I provoke, but that's okay.
Tear them apart!
Not used to lighting enemies on fire first.
There it comes. Okay, let's move back. And eat.
For me.
And shoot.
What a waste.
Crit with the bow, not the best. Alright, so... we're gonna do this, instead of what I was originally doing. Okay. Now we don't have to worry about rocks on the floor.
My search was not in vain.
More traps. For Knock Knock.
Did it without breaking it.
Box over here. On a damp sheet of paper, there are pictures of sun, trees, and glade filled with flowers, all drawn by a child's hand. We got a piece of an artifact right next to the children's drawing. A broken children's toy covered with mold. Someone hid the pillows beneath the sheets. It's rotten and stuffed with various things.
Me see, me keep.
Torn children's book. A thin, hand-bound tome filled with the bright pictures is torn and ink-stained. After you thumb through several loyal pages, you find a part that you can still make out. Oh, it's teaching the alphabet, but with words that... oh... oh... This crumpled piece of paper is covered with a charcoal sketch of a gloomy building with a huge lock on the gate. Oh no! They were locked in. There was no escape. Kill a tribal fetish and a falcon +4. Let's see. Is that the... yeah, that's the martial one that doesn't have reach, but a huge crit range. Basically a big scimitar. We could go through that door up there. We could go through this door over here. Let's check the hallway for traps first.
Ooh,
2 of them.
shiny thing. Uh-oh.
Okay.
And whoops.
Things are getting difficult. You know what?
I know what
We
to
have
do.
good hope rolling. Let's get something better going. How about greater heroism? I think Knock Knock needs this. Alright, how long does that last? 12 minutes. Oh, we're also affected by so many negative levels. Okay, let's
Well, sorry.
fix that.
Lost in thought.
I didn't realize that that was the problem. Let's fix that. Is anybody else suffering? Is anybody else suffering from negative level syndrome? Signs point to no. Alright, let's fix that.
Me?
Alright, I think he's fixed. Okay, good. Alright, now Knock Knock.
I did it? I did!
Yeah, how we're doing on that trickery rolled out. Yeah, plus 34. Lot better. Lot better.
I did it?
All according to
I did!
Any other traps? No. Okay. The doors could be locked, so let's make a save. Traps are one thing, doors are another. I apparently can't retry doors. The collapsed ceiling has blocked this passage.
Uh-oh.
See what I mentioned about locked doors? Okay, what's this door? 42! I never rolled 8 minimum. Okay, alright, we try that again. Okay, alright, fine. Someone decided to step up security for some reason. There must be something good behind this door. Must be something real good. Okay,
I did it?
there we go. That was better. And I drop another quick save because we don't want to have to try and do that again. What did I roll? Rolled a 19 that time. Much better. The opposite of a 2. We just flipped the die upside down.
all according to plan.
Okay.
Interesting.
Trapped box.
Did it without breaking it.
The trap was only a 36. Alright, that's better. And what's inside the box?
I
Ooh.
did!
Ooh, something that looked really unique. Alright, so... Wail of the Banshee, that's fine. Waves of Exhaustion, that's fine. Horrid Wilting, that's fine. Unicorn's Horn! We needed one of those for a quest! We said we weren't gonna go hunting for a sentient... No, we found one! We finally got a Unicorn Horn. Now we can get that quest done. Detailed map of Numeria covered with markings. I think if you didn't make that lockpick check, you wouldn't be able to get that there. I doubt there would be many other opportunities for a Unicorn Horn in the game. Alright, this room. There's a box. The face sister. Okay, something tells me that this is going to end up with a combat, so let's save. And step into the room.
Far.
A slim figure clad in a grey cloak is nestled in the shadows. Through the holes in the veil that covers her face, her eyes stare out at you, sharp green, like emeralds. You have found this place. I knew you'd come. I was afraid to meet you here, yet still hoped you would come. We met in a tomb in Dunsword. Yes, your words made me remember who I once used to be. They gave me hope, no matter how false, no matter how short-lasting, that once I would be able to free myself from the service. Use detect magic. A strong magic aura surrounds a woman's figure. It seems that the spell that caused it belongs to Abjuration School magic, so protection, as creator is a much more powerful spellcaster than the Face Sister herself. Okay, special words on you. I need answers. Ask away, but you should know, the ones who I serve has put a spell on me. If I try to play against her, I will die. There are some questions answering which will kill me faster than if I finish talking. Alright, so that's what the abjuration is. It's protecting the caster from you. From me, from you. Okay. Who are you? Our name must be the only piece of truth amongst all our lies. We really are sisters, the nymphs from the first world, bounded by blood with one another, who turned the ties of our blood into shackles. We truly are defaced. When we shared her curse with us, she deprived us of our freedom, our names, and our beauty. What did she do to Tristian? He's like us, our stepbrother in misery. You must already know that he's not a regular man. He is a child of higher planes, Cernre's Deva, who fell into my sister's trap and was forced to serve her. His task was to aid your ascension and your fall, but his will was strong enough to fight her commands. I beg you to forgive his betrayal. There is no hope left for me, but as for he, everything is not lost for him, not yet. Sorry, no! A little lying or caving into a higher power could be forgiven, but stabbing your friends in the back, not a chance! If Tristian was an honest spy, serving for money or ideals, I could forgive him. But fooling us honestly, did his job. He's a good spy, but the righteous asshole tried to play himself off as being good and pure, and then just turned on us when some witch told him to. And he can't even rebel against her! Ugh. Whom do you serve? Once she was our sister, the most powerful, the most beautiful of the nymphs in the first world. Then she was cursed and banished. I know not why. We followed her into exile, hoping to give her comfort, but she changed. As cheerful, wise, and gentle she had been back home, she became arrogant, wicked, and cruel in these mortal lands. You can see for yourself what she has done for us. But it's not the worst thing that she has done, believe my words. What is her curse? All I know is she eagerly shares it with others. A canopy of curses looms over the stolen lands, a web so dense that sometimes a single careless word spoken in anger is enough to tap into its energies. That explains a lot. We kind of already knew that. Okay. Is there a way to free you? I doubt that. To do it, I'd need a magic stronger than she, or a cleric who would be able to ask their deity for a true miracle. My shackles are solid. I'll be free from the curse only in the day when she herself is freed. That's a little bit direct there. I think Miracle is a 9th level Divine Spellcaster spell. And even then, the deity does have to agree to actually do it. What are you trying to achieve? I can only guess on what she has planned, and I'm not even sure she has a plan at all. Maybe it is simply some game that lasts for thousands of years, the rules beyond my comprehension. Or perhaps she does what she does to amuse herself, a distraction from her own pain. Century after century, she does the same thing. First, she finds within her land something she calls an empire. It may be a village that is led by a strong chieftain, or outlaws that terrorize the roads, or even caves of trolls and kobolds. Any center of authority in these lawless lands. She helps this new empire flourish, only so she may destroy it. Lies, violence, magic, blades of her new favorites. This is her arsenal she uses to destroy dreams, hopes, and the very lives of those she formerly nurtured and protected. So, I was one of her toys from the beginning? Yes. You defeated the Stag Lord, Tartuk and Holgolka, dealt with Vordakai. Now the time has come for her to destroy you as well. Thank you for answering my questions. I am glad I can do something for you. I have to go. Wait, before you leave, I'd like to help you. The spell I am bounded with won't spare my life. But my death will be my only independent decision of many ages. Please take my blessing. You don't have to sacrifice your life for me. A weak sigh comes from under the veil. My life is over now. Do you really think that the one I serve hasn't learned of my betrayal? If she didn't want us to meet, this encounter wouldn't have happened. The only freedom that remains is my freedom to choose my own death. So, I do not so wish to die by her hand, and I won't do what she sent me to do. So why did she send you? The sister raises her hand. Instead of a fingernail, a bright tourmaline lies embedded in her fingertip, encrusted with caked blood. This stone holds a powerful spell of imprisonment. A touch, a single secret word, and you'll disappear underground, outside time, trapped forever between life and death. But I'd rather die than curse you so. For me, if that were to affect me, because I am not timeless, ageless, and I am affected by hunger and thirst, if I were trapped, unable to move my body in the earth, I would eventually die after, I don't know, like what, 3 days? A week? Somewhere in that range. What a terrible way to go. Why won't you target the spell against the one who enslaved you? I thought about that, but this is all just idle dreams. She'll know my intention long before I build up my courage, and she'll kill me before I come anywhere near her. So we can take her blessing and kill her. We can be evil and steal her finger off of her living body. Not gonna do that. Or we can be chaotic good. I have a better idea. Use this spell on yourself. It is a faint hope, but hope nevertheless. A day shall come when her curse dissolves, and then you will be free. Yeah, she is a fae. She's timeless. Even if she dies, she'll just reincarnate somewhere. So, in a sense, this is a way for her to imprison herself from her captor, to escape her until she feels that the curse has faded. But, by the Green Mother, you're right. She won't find me underground. Thousands of years shall pass before her curse dissolves. It may never happen, but still, it's hope. Thank you, and farewell. Burial in the depths is the only way to escape a trap. Truly an amazing finale. I'm pleased to have been witness to the act. Perhaps one day I could turn such a spell on myself in reverse. Leave the world without fuss. Harem, come on. After giving you one last emerald glance, the sister shuts her eyes, whispers the secret word, and presses the jewel against her chest. For a moment she is still, then disappears into the ground without a trace. Well, she's free in her own way now. Alright, there's a box in the corner. But it's trapped. Alright, that was a long conversation. Let's save. Again. And knock knock go.
I did it.
Nice.
I did.
As it should be.
And it's full of stuff. Something tells me that if she really wanted to or had the ability to, she could have told me about that trap. Another room. I'm not sure if I trust the room.
In due time.
What's
So we're going to do the thing that we always do in new rooms. We're just going to throw rocks into the room. As far as we can. Up. There was a tat. There were 2 cats. And I accidentally skipped Knock Knock's turn. That's fine. That's as close as we can get. Gonna go after the McGammar cat. You know what? Let's buff everybody's damage with arrows. That might help Knock Knock.
This should do it.
Maybe. Alright, your throwing range is real short. Alright, that got that one in the back. Love that. Can't see that one. Maybe if I 5 foot this way? No. Okay, that got the close one. So we still have the far one.
I'm not used to lighting enemies on fire first.
Very poor damage, that's okay. Up it goes. And it has to move. It got out of the rocks. Just. We're probably going to be able to take it down.
A calculated risk.
And it's down. Okay, let's put the rocks over this way. So we can explore this new room. Just have to move them over there. We can skin the Dwemer cats. Another book. Secrets of Numeria by Robert Arbone. Let's see. It's really dangerous. They've told us about the Starfall, which is how they got lots of stuff. The Great Warlord Armagh. Okay, this is probably why this is relevant to this particular point. Learn more about these famous explorers' expeditions. Where to think of the grave is hidden. Alright. More books. More books. Okay.
All according to plan.
Lots of lore in there. Lots of lore. But we're busy.
Did it without breaking it.
The Paragon of Defenders. Helm increases armor class by 2. +3 bonus to persuasion checks made to intimidate. If one of the wearer's allies falls unconscious or from damage, the wearer takes a penalty on attack rolls and skill checks for as long as they are farther than 10 feet away from the fallen ally. I don't like that downside, but the positives are really good. So you want to stick this on someone who regularly intimidates. So that's gonna be you. That's gonna be you. New hat. Looks better on you anyway. So we have to make a religion check. That's probably going to be harem. I'm going to save before I make it because you only get one shot to know what you know.
I did it, but
A crude altar to Gorm has been erected in the remains of Torag's temple. Ah. Such desecration. I'm sure that was their intention.
In due time.
New door. New room. Yep, okay.
I'm glad you called.
Yeah, that figures. Alright, let's put this all the way over here. Because if you see one red cap, there's probably 5. Okay, that's more than 5.
Kind of fight.
Okay, we have the advantage.
Be easier if you not fight back.
Loads of enemies with really high initiative rolls. 5 foot into the room. Miss that. Oh, an iron golem. That's friendly in the corner. Weird. Not used to seeing that. Buff everybody's damage and take a shot.
This would hurt.
I would like to get into the room, but I need other people to get into the room first. Alright, Harem, go. I'm too afraid. I'm too afraid to have the cat attack anything in the rocks because I don't want the cat to die to the rocks. As dangerous as the rocks are for the enemies, they are just as dangerous for me. Okay, another one down.
Come here, Bax. I'm not gonna stab you.
No sneak attack there. Let's just continue to charge more rocks. There are so many of them. Up you go, and where are you going? Just made it to the edge. Okay, they're getting into melee with the Smilodon. That's what I like to see. Okay, that one's in melee with Harem. Okay, let's deal with the one on Harem. Very good. If they all cluster up nicely into a nice tight little circle, alright, we can blast them with Sonic like so. That'll speed things along. Hit the one in the back. Don't move. Just full attack the one that got close enough to you.
Bring it!
That one got stunned. That one went down to rocks. No sneak attacks there. Let's just do one really powerful rocks like so. Very nice. Okay, so now we have a problem with rocks being in the room, so once again, we turn around and we throw the rocks behind us. I feel pretty confident that we're not going to backtrack anymore. It looks like there's a little bit of map artifacting right there, but I think those are just high walls between the layers of height with all the stairs and everything. Get all that. Okay, what's in the corner? Training dummies, covered with marks made by what looks to be a wooden sword. We sure it wasn't the size of the Fae? Alright. Box in the corner. Piles of stuff. What we got here? Ardent! Some nunchucks! Oh boy! +3 nunchucks grant a wielder a +5 competence bonus on athletic skill checks. Well, if I had anybody who was proficient in nunchucks, these would not be on the block for selling. Simply because of that skill bonus. Unfortunately, I do not have a monk. Alright, an iron golem, huh? An iron golem, darkened by time, towers over you. It's massive, created by unknown masters. Its huge arms seem capable of snapping you in two, but it remains still. Let's examine the golem. Mighty armored plates, protective mechanisms that could be set a massive figure into motion. The golem was obviously built for fighting. And I'm not going to hit it, or I'm not going to step away from it. Let's say the word from the engineer's diary. As the word is spoken, the iron golem comes alive. The mechanism that was once still a moment ago starts to tremble. Its hinges creak, and the golem begins to move.
Enemy approaching.
Training fighting mode engaged. Well, that's not what I wanted to do, but here we are.
Let's try this way.
It hasn't got a turn yet. Let's change our weapon around. And we can't stab it yet, so we're gonna move. We're gonna 5 foot closer. And where's it going? No, knock, knock! Knock, knock, got knocked a little. That's fine. Change over to one of the melee weapons. And attack it. Okay. Let's knock you down. Very good. The cat cannot 5 foot in. Probably because of Prometheus' positioning. Harem does that. Keep using the bow for now. I don't think this thing will be too terribly difficult.
This should do it.
Given that's already at half health. And now Knock Knock's about to get a turn with flanking.
Knock Knock used to lighting enemies on fire
And it's down. Well, how much experience was that worth? That was worth... didn't say. Guess it wasn't worth any. That's a shame. Another trap on the floor.
I did it. I did.
Is there gonna be a trap on every single darkened pit?
I did it. I did.
That is not far.
You see.
Okay, not every darkened pit, but most of them. As long as we're in a trap-filled hallway, let's keep on going. Da, da, da.
As it should be.
That looks good. Okay, rev up, charge up. More rocks. Did somebody say more rocks? I did. It was me. Let's rock their world. Rock their socks off. This is not what the party is designed to do. No, it is not. But, as long as I have the ability to do it, I'm going to do it. Because this is really safe. This saves me from having to do a lot of healing. Theoretically. Change back over to the javelin.
Become as dust.
Move out of the way so other people can get in. Step back. Make everybody's arrows slightly better.
A calculated risk.
The cat is here. Let's go this way.
Be easier if you not fight back.
Slight differences that make Knock Knock go from 200 damage around to nothing. It's fine. More gather power this turn. Okay, I think I'm still armed with a melee weapon. No, I switch over to the range. Okay.
I'll cut you.
Up you go. Well, Smilodon's happy they're in melee.
This will hurt.
Hey, look at that! 2 targets. Alright.
Please.
So... let's get the box first. Okay, now, okay, the rocks just faded. Good.
All according to plan.
I think I don't have Enduring Earth, so the duration is actually not that bad. It could be worse. More mundane weapons. Coarse canvas sleeping bags. Much newer than the rest of the items in the room.
In due time.
And another item here. Dwarven Urgosh, +3. Dwarven Urgosh. It's a weird weapon. Is that one of the 2-handed ones? No, that's the poleaxe kind of deal. But it doesn't have reach in this one. Okay. Alright. Weird weapon. Weird weapon. There's so many neat exotic dwarven weapons that all have like slight variances. Like some of them trip, some of them have bracing, some of them have like a grapple thing.
I did.
They're neat. And it does lead a benefit to like playing a martial dwarf like a barbarian or whatever, but
What a find.
for Harem, who is a cleric who's not proficient with all martial weapons, it does make that dwarven racial feature
I did.
less useful. Locked. Okay, well, I guess we go back to the other door. I feel like we've explored everything that we possibly could on this floor, except for this one door. There's so many caved-in passages and such, that's just fine.
In due time.
Okay, so let's take a look at what we
Ready
got.
for anything.
How long is left on Good Hope? 2 minutes.
Well, sorry. Was lost in thought.
Am I able to cast Neutralize Poison again? No. I have a couple of death wards, though. I think I just do this.
I am
As long as I'm
prepared.
doing mirror images, why don't I do it with Prometheus, too?
Focus on the goal.
People like to target Prometheus. Alright. Let's open the door. Let's get everybody their melee weapons.
Lamashtu?
Where to now?
Let's get everybody their melee weapons. Give it the Keen one. No, we're about to buff our weapon with Keen. Give me that one. Use... Not Arcane Accuracy. Use Arcane Weapon Enchantment. Okay. You change yourself back over to this. All melee weapons all the time.
See.
Okay. That's a defaced sister who wants to talk, and we got sucked into the middle of the room.
It was you. You robbed my sister of hope. You prolonged her suffering and our suffering as well. For that, you'll die.
Merciful Sarenrae, heed my prayer. Burn my darkness out of my heart. Please. Purify me by your fire. Save me from evil. He's just chanting a prayer over and over on that spot, huh? Okay. The defaced sister turns to you. From under the hood, hiding her face, angry gray eyes glint at you. She stops to catch her breath and adds, almost indifferently, that you will die. What happened here?
The wounded Skylark hurried to his mistress to tell about his failure in person. This sanctimonious fool proved incapable of carrying out a simple order because of you. Now our mistress wants to search for what the Oculus was meant to show her, and I remained behind to rid my lady of those who have outlasted their usefulness.
Well, I'm glad we convinced Tristan to destroy the Oculus now, but... Alright, I've met others like you. Tell me, who are you?
An emissary from the First World. A servant to the power that came to these swamps against her will. My duty is a heavy one, but I bear it without faltering. I shall not bow. Not before destiny, not before my enemies, and not before creatures such as you.
What sister are you talking about?
She's the queen of this horizon and horizons unseen. She's the mistress of dreams and the embodiment of all mortal desires. She is wrath, and she will crush these lands to dust. I serve Nyrissa, mortal.
When you hear this name, a chill crawls down your spine. A supernatural coldness freezes your shoulders for a moment. But then, the feeling passes. Alright, I think that's not the first time we've heard the name, but this is the first time we've heard someone so close to her say the name. So I guess that's why it had additional power. Tristan, can you hear me? Wake up! The cleric of Sarenrae doesn't even turn towards you. He's immersed in a desperate prayer to his goddess.
Save your breath. This Skylark has broken his wings, and now he's useless. I'll rid myself of him after I've finished with you.
I came for Tristan. Give him to me, and we'll go our separate ways.
I won't do that. Besides, why would you need someone who lied to you every step of the way, concealing his true goals and his true self? Look at him. Did you know he was once one of my kind? A creature from the outer planes? Now all that remains of the sacred servant of Sarenrae is a husk.
And maybe we should really leave him to this faceless carry-on. Why do we need a traitor and a wuss on a team? Maybe just tie him up, throw him to the monsters as bait.
Enough. Tell me, where did Nyrissa go?
She left. Where and why is not your concern. I remained only to remove any trace of her and her servants left behind. You see, These lands were our home long before you appeared. These walls witnessed another mortal who, like you, serves Nerissa's goals now. We taught him. We showed him the way. We told him what to believe and whom to serve. My eldest sister, Nerissa. She is the mistress of half-truths, exploiting hopes and weaknesses of others with her words. All it took to control Armagh was some books and legends about his great destiny. All it took to control Tristan was deceiving him into thinking it was Nerissa who deprived him of his holy gift. She who cursed him with a mortal body.
Lies. So that was all lies?
As if awakened from a nightmare, Tristan winces and raises his head.
And all it took to control you, upstart Baron, was a lure. The promise of your own lands to rule. And you bought it. All of you. Enough. You are a thing of the past, and I must rid this place of you and Tristan. Get ready for oblivion!
What you just said is false. I am not a thing of the past. I am the thing of the now. That's not all I wish to know.
Hey!
But we fight anyway. Alright, looks like everybody got hit by a baleful gaze. So, looking at what everybody suffered in the party. Yep. Yep, I got hit with tons of drain. Tons and tons and tons of drain. Which, I still say that shouldn't get me because I have, if I look at my feats, Blind Fight, which should make me immune to gaze attacks. It looks like that's just not working for this kind of thing. Oh well. Buff with a song. Get everybody with a haste. And let's move back. Alright, cat. That is too close to pounce. Oh well, 5 foot. Here we go. Loads of damage on the sister. Here comes the Jingle Jams. They're getting some good hits in. We don't like that. Let's step back a moment. Okay, looks like the golems are also activated. We want to take out that sister, though. We don't want to hit Tristan if we can help it. Tristan is marked as an ally. But we have to ramp down our charging. Let's go for the sister. Knocked her down. Oh, Tristan's gonna die. He's getting beat up by golems. Okay, Agonizing Wail. We can move and attack, or we can just attack the one that's right next to us. I don't think we have flank. No, we do. Amiri's already here. So Amiri hasn't turned. We have to wait for Amiri. Tristan's armed with a crossbow, so he's gonna go down really quickly because apparently he can't cast the spells right now. Probably due to a conflict of faith. That's normal, unfortunately. Let's 5 foot behind Ragongar here, so we make sure we're in reach of everybody. Looks like we'd only hit the one. Alright. Oh, no, we got another one. How about we take out this one?
Come here, Bats. Not that spat.
Completely splatted that. Can I 5 foot all... Yeah, let's go all the way over here. Alright, Ragongar, I need you to shuffle slightly to the side. Make room. Alright, and we're having trouble, so... Let's use Arcane Accuracy. And let's activate... Shocking Grasp. That's doing some numbers. We need to make more room in melee. Okay, Harem. I'm not going to have you go into melee. I want you to cast spells. Let's take a look at the golems in the back. Let's see. They are indeed... Spell immunity. Okay, not worth casting spells on. Got it. Deface Sister, on the other hand... High-level Sorcerer. Mid-level Fae. No idea. Unable to identify. Fair enough. Probably has spell resistance. But we can try to get her with something that might end the fight with her right now. So let's try to get her with... Destruction.
Dawnflower, Grant me strength.
Yeah, Tristian's having time in the back. My own arrows probably won't do very much, so let's blast those with Sonic. They're far enough away that we can bounce. Let's blast the other one. Okay, this one's got a turn first. Yeah, let's hit it with rocks. That's one down. Tristan gets a turn. Don't provoke an attack of opportunity, you fool! Okay, it rolled a 1. It rolled a 1. Okay. Get over here.
Bring it!
Knock, knock. We'll get 1 sneak attack.
Which knife to use?
Ragongar. Alright, we got it.
Let me tell you something before you decide my fate. Nyrissa is gone. She cannot keep me silent any longer.
Tristian turns towards you, his face tortured.
I'm tired of lies and deception. Our meeting wasn't a coincidence. It was Nyrissa who sent me to the Temple of the Elk. She conjured that fog and sent Jod a version of the place. Since then, I've been watching you, waiting for a time to act. For Nyrissa. But that's not all. I helped her create and plant the unwilting flower that almost destroyed your barony. As you can see, everything that happened in Mordecai's tomb was but one of my many crimes. That is all. Deal with me however you think best.
He shakes his head and falls silent for a moment. Tristian, who are you?
I am a Deva. Once a sacred servant and messenger of Sarenrae herself. Once it was my calling to heed mortals' prayers and to deliver them to other servants of the goddess. That was before I fell into a trap set by Nyrissa. She took from me my powers and severed my bond with my goddess. At least, that's what I had thought. Nyrissa threatened that if I didn't serve her, she'd never return my wings, and I'd never speak to Sarenrae again. She made me... I'm lying to you again. If it wasn't for my cowardice, Nyrissa would never have broken me to her will. But I was afraid to remain mortal.
A slave, if he has at least some bravery, will make every effort to escape. And this one, a witch wagged a finger at him and he went in and did what she said. And betrayed his friends too. Ugh.
What was the point of leaving Kadira, if even in faraway lands fate delivers me not only a follower of Sarenrae, but her loyal, or not-so-loyal diva?
Ah, stop talking. Head hurts.
Thank you, Knock Knock, for your wonderful contribution. Who is Nyrissa?
A nymph. One of the most beautiful of all creatures. Most wicked of all monsters. But who she is, what she wants, I do not know. I ran across her while traveling through the negative energy plane. A strange wound, like something had pierced time and space. In my pride, confident in my powers, I followed its path to this world. She dealt with me in a heartbeat.
He shakes his head again.
Before I could flee, she had entrapped me, filling my mind with horrible nightmares. And when I awoke, I was mortal. I had no choice. No choice at all.
His voice rises, becoming desperate. Tell me about Nyrissa's search for the Oculus.
Nyrissa discovered an ancient power awakening beneath the doors of Lebanese. She knew of Mordecai, and she also knew of the Oculus. What she did not know is the location of his tomb. The defaced sisters and the Numerian barbarians serving them were dispatched to search for the tomb's entrance. But you found it first. And you would have acquired the Oculus if it were not for me.
That's okay, I didn't need the Oculus. What did Nyrissa want the Oculus of Abaddon for?
I don't know. After I failed her, after I failed to destroy you, she became angry with me. The only way to regain her favor was to find the Oculus of Abaddon and bring it to her. I don't know why she wants it. Only that she will destroy anything in her path to possess it, including you. I beg you, be careful. She never forgets any who dare challenge her.
The sister mentioned some lies about sacred gift and mortal body.
When I awaked from Nyrissa's enchantments, I was mortal, no longer a deva. Nyrissa said she'd taken my gift of immortality and severed my bond with my goddess. But, according to what the sister said, I don't understand what's true anymore and what is not. Before this, I thought Nyrissa stood between me and Sarenrae, but it seems like she was lying.
Of course she was. If your bond with Sarenrae had truly been severed, then you wouldn't have been able to cast any of those spells at all. Unless Nyrissa was trying to act as a stand-in for that. But something tells me that Nyrissa isn't exactly a font of healing and fire magic.
No! Just look at him! He's been lied to. And how about lying to your friends with whom you sit by the fire and fight shoulder to shoulder? I haven't seen such nastiness in a long time, and he pretended to be this goody-goody.
Miri says with her voice dripping with sarcasm. What is this ever-blooming flower you're talking about?
This was Nyrissa's creation. A strange plant with seeds that bring death to the mortals and open gates to the first world. I don't know much else. All I've done was use my knowledge of the planes to root the flower in 2 worlds simultaneously. What Nyrissa did was deplorable. But I am not blameless. Sarenrae as my witness. I didn't want it to happen as it did. But in my fear of losing her divine light, my resolve crumbled. So I did what I was ordered to do.
Those cultists from the Kingdom of the Cleanse who tried to kill me. Were you involved in that too?
Partly. Nyrissa charmed the first faithful. Promised him and all his followers a paradise in exchange for your head. My job was to lure you to the trap. But Nyrissa ordered me only to lure you to the trap. She never forbade me to protect you. That's why I fought by your side in that battle.
A shadow of smile crosses Tristian's face. I've made up my mind about what to do with you. It seems to you that a shadow of fear crosses Tristian's face, but he keeps silent. I don't believe in beautiful tales of atonement and awakening. He who has betrayed once will betray again. And what can be worse than a servant or companion who you can't trust? All of my companions make fair points. Deception is not very easily forgiven by most. But Prometheus believes that in spite of everything Tristian has been ordered to do, that Tristian has always found a loophole, similar to that last point that I made. Tristian has always found a loophole to be able to achieve a better end or aid me while also being forced to fight against me. He wants to help, but he's under the effect of a curse. And like anybody who is under the effect of a curse, Prometheus does not blame the curse. Or he does not blame the person under a curse. He blames the curse, not them. We can find a cure. We can. No more suffering. You're forgiven, Tristian.
Thank you. I'll leave you and head for the city. A walk will help me to figure out how I can make amends for everything.
Tristian's lips tremble as he answers you faintly. The cleric takes a deep breath, as if gathering himself, and his voice rises. He nods, and farewell. Till we meet again, Prometheus. We can now research the nature of Tristian's curse. Not that our research on curses ever really seems to do much. But you know what? We have it, and that's important. Alright, so vials and flasks are lined up neatly on the shelves. The fluids inside have darkened and turned into sludge. Ugh. Among the glassware are damp paper notes. There are cut flowers, buds, petals, and leaves. Alright, so alchemy. Couple of fresh things. This piece of sky mail and gloves of elven kind. +5 bonus on knowledge checks, arcana, and concentration checks. So that concentration is good for casting a spell when you're in a bad situation. Prometheus is often in a bad situation, and he's not wearing gloves. So, boots of elven kind, gloves of elven kind. Why not? Let's just embrace that elven heritage. And of course, we get a couple more piles of stuff on the floor. How bad did we suffer in that fight? Okay, Prometheus has a bunch of drain. Knock Knock does not have drain. Amiri does not have drain. Cat does not have drain. Clegget does not have drain. Only Prometheus has drain. So, we fixed the drain.
I'm still here.
We fixed the one person who has drain, and that's me. So we use a restoration spell on Prometheus, costing yet more diamond dust. But it's worth it in order to get rid of the penalties. Did I deal with all of it? No. We would need several more castings of it. And you're not the type of cleric that gets those back real quickly. No. That's fine. Well, we did a cast today. We'll have to do more casts in the future. So let's see. Now that we dealt with the boss of the area, and we encountered the betrayer who fled, who we have forgiven, I'm going to save before I touch this door. And see if there's anything more to this dungeon. I think we're almost done with it. That's a trap. Go knock knock.
Did it without breaking it.
Very good.
As it should be.
Nothing around there. And where are we? Wait, this looks familiar. Are we that place that Nerissa told me to go to that one time? Yes, I'm calling her by that name now. We know her true name. I'm going to actively use her true name as much as I can. Guardian of Bloom, Nerissa, whatever. You know who I mean. Yeah, we're here again. And we cleared this out previously, so I don't think there's anything here for us now.
In due time.
Yeah. So if you didn't pick up things here last time, and you didn't deal with all the problem monsters that were here, I guess you could be doing it now, and be getting the experience that way. But we did deal with this previously, so there's nothing here. Which means that we're a little bit closer to home than when we left. Aren't Fey portals wonderful? Honestly, it's no different than us using our arcane circles and teleportation magic that we have back in the various magical keeps that we have back in Combe. So, this sure was an episode. This sure was a time. We accomplished a lot. We got Tristian back, we learned Iris's name, we got a unicorn horn, along with various other magical odds and bits and ends. I think I'm actually really far away from any of my towns. Yeah, so it's actually going to take longer for me to get back home than it took for me to get there in the first place. Yeah, funny how that works. But I think I now have access to get Tristian back for my kingdom, so that's good. That's good. I really needed him. I didn't have anybody else to take that position him. So, thank you all so much for watching and joining me along this path, and maybe we'll continue to walk this path more in the future. Later, Pathfinders!